I hope you're excited, because I'm excited. We're talking speculation and market movement. This, my friends, is part 2 of the 10 best comics to invest in 2022. We'll be right back. What's up, comic book community? And welcome back to another episode of Keep It Comics. As always, I am your gracious host, C3. We got a really exciting video to show you guys today. As I said before, this is the continuation of the best 10 comics to invest in 2022. You guys know the drill. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and definitely feel free to ring that bell so every time I do a video, you guys will get that notification. So the first book I want to start off with, we're just going to dive right into it. At number 10, I want to show you War of the Realms, and it's the New Agents of Atlas, and this is issue number 1. All right? Now, the reason I'm excited about this book, and I'm looking to get this into my collection, because it's been doing pretty decent numbers, moving fairly well on the secondary market. Last recorded sale was in January 5th, 2022. It was for $33.33, right? The average graded sale in a 9.8 is $163, which is not a bad buy-in, you know, for a comic book in a 9.8 that has a first appearance in there. It has the first appearance. It has multiple first appearances, to be exact. It's the first appearance of Luna Snow. It's the first appearance of Wave. It's the first appearance of Crescent. It has the first appearance is the first U.S. appearance of Arrow, and the first cameo appearance of Swordmaster, also the cover appearance of Swordmaster. So this book has multiple first appearances in there, and I think it's a really great speculation book for the future, seeing as how Marvel is looking to broaden its Asian fan base. So this is a book that, in my opinion, I think is worth keeping up with. The average sale for a raw copy is $36.13, and it is currently trending down right now, but it is the perfect opportunity to buy this book, which means not a lot of people are really thinking about this book right now, but this book will come back around $360. All right, so just keep your eye out for this book. The highest recorded sale for this book was back in April 2021, where a 9.8 went for a cool $350. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this book definitely has staying power. All right, so keep your eye out for it. Raw copies sold so far is 1,001. Graded copies sold so far is 437 copies. So definitely keep your eye out for this book, because this book there is some movement with this book on the secondary market. So keep your eye out for it. All right. So now coming in at number 9. This is a book I'm excited to talk about. According to our friends over at Illuminati, there's some information circulating around the rumor mill that there has been some casting done for someone who fits the description of the Hood. All right? Yes. So, the Hood was released by Marvel in July 1st of 2002. There's a lot of buzz about a thief that turned supervillain. So the last recorded sale for this book was $49.99, and that was back in June 14th, 2022. Now, mind you, ever since Illuminati dropped this news, eBay has been really buzzing with this book. This book is definitely set to move. If you go on eBay, you look at these prices, and you look at what the owners of these books have, they've heard this information. They really think that this could possibly be the big baddie in Ironheart. So they're really thinking that this is the book, right? So with that being said, the average graded sale for a 9.8 in this book is $416. The average sale for a raw copy is $44.98. It's currently trending neither up nor down, which this information just came out, right? So we have to give time. We have to give it time for this information to get out there. We have to get time for the buyers and the sellers to do their business, and then that information to get back to the sources so that things can be tallied up. But it's clear that when you look on eBay, there is movement with this book, and the comic book community does feel like it is a possible speculation book worth investing in, right? The highest recorded sale was back in September 2020, where 9.8 sold for $599.99. This is a pure speculation book, ladies and gentlemen. So I want to make that known. This book is pure speculation, but it is seeing movement on the secondary market. And that's why I feel like it's important for me to share this information with you so that nobody's sleeping this book, right? Because it will continue to move under the radar unless we share this information. But right now, there's a lot of good movement with this book. So far, we've got 161 raw copies that are sold, and we've got 33 graded copies that have been sold, which makes for a nice 194 copies that have been sold since this information dropped. So there is some movement, right? So I don't want us to miss out. And those of us who like flipping books, of course, you can look on eBay. You see all our flippers are set to go. They're on the mark and they're ready. You know, so that's a beautiful thing. So just keep your eye out for this book, The Hood, issue number 1. All right. Moving along, coming in at number 8, we have War of the Realms, Agent of Atlas, and this is issue number 2. Now, this book is trending upward for the same reason the last one was. It's got first full appearance of the Swordmaster in there. The last recorded sale for a raw copy was $49.99, and that was back in January 14th of 2022, right? So that was very recent. Pretty decent movement with this book. I mean, it's slow, but it's steady. Movement, it's trending upward right now at about 0.4%. And again, it's because, you know, Marvel is looking to expand its Asian fan base. So it's coming up and creating all these new characters of different ethnicity, right? And I think that's a beautiful thing. Average graded sale for 9.8 in this book is $252. Average sale for a raw copy is $62.30. Highest recorded sale for this book was back in November 2021, where a 9.8 went for $299.99. That is not a bad buy-in for a good speculation book. That is not a bad buy-in. Last recorded sale for raw copies sold, 268 copies. 268 raw copies sold, 53 graded copies sold for a nice total of 321 copies. Yes, this book has movement. This book definitely has legs, ladies and gentlemen. So you want to keep your eye on this book because there's no telling how far this book could climb on the market. All right. And you know what I always say, when a book is down, it's the perfect opportunity to buy it. Do not think because it's not trending upward that it's a poor purchase idea, because the best time to buy a book is you buy it low so you can sell it high. That's my model. That's the business model. That's the American way. Buy low so you can sell high. But also for those of us who like collecting books and like to try to get the book for the best value, I like to purchase books at a very low buy-in, and that way, in the long-term event, it continues to add more value to my collection. And that's just how I like to purchase books. All right. So keep your eye out for War of the Realms, Agent of Atlas, issue number 2. Now let's continue with the show. Moving on. Coming in at number 7, we have Strange Academy, The Death of Dr. Strange, issue number 1. But I'm talking about that Humberto Ramos regular cover. Now, you guys might say, well, why does he have this book up here? Well, believe it or not, Strange Academy is one of the most popular books of 2021. And it is still doing well as we move into 2022. And not to mention the covers, man. You have to keep your eye out for the covers. Covers such as Humberto Ramos. Covers such as J. Scott Campbell. The Scotty Young covers. Pay attention to the, what's his name? Mark. What's his name? Mark. Mark. I forgot his name. But leave a comment if you guys know who I'm talking about. Because these guys have done extraordinary work with this book, and I'm looking forward to this book hitting either the small screen or the big screen, whether they do it in a movie or they give it to Disney Plus. But This book is doing tremendous on the secondary market. I'm watching it. I'm keeping my eye out for this whole run. Last recorded sales for a raw copy in this book was $10, right? And you might think, that's nothing, C3. But at the end of the day, think of how far this can go. This could be a franchise book, believe it or not. The average sale for a raw copy, $6.99. But if you look at how it's trending, 16.77% on the rise, right? So that's not bad at all. Highest recorded sale for this book was back in January 2022, was for $10. And raw copies, how many raw copies have we sold so far? 80. 80 raw copies. There have been no graded copies sold because, again, they're probably all sent out. Everybody's sending these books in and they're waiting for them to come back. We all know that CGC is backed up. And because CGC is backed up, we're all sending our books to CBCS. Now they're backed up. So it's a gridlock with getting these books back. So just think about how popular that this book is going to be over time and if it gets picked up and optioned for some type of streaming service or movie, right? So far we have total copies sold for this book is 80, right? And I think as my thoughts come back to me, am I talking about the David Mack cover? Am I talking about the David Mack? Correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong, but the David Mack covers on this are just phenomenal when he does those headshots, so that's something that everybody wants to keep an eye out on. Those comics are popping. You got a lot of covers that are doing great numbers on the secondary market. And keep in mind, if I'm wrong, just correct me. I don't mind being wrong because I never claim to be perfect or the smartest crayon or the smartest crayon in the coloring box. You know what I mean? So it's all good. But that's how I'm feeling about this comic. Strange Academy, Death of Doctor Strange, issue #1 is definitely a good addition to my collection. And I definitely want to make sure I get this book in there. All right? So, moving right along. We're at number 6 right now. And this is a book that I want this book strictly as a cover buy, right? I'm excited about it, but I want it strictly as a cover buy because it's just a beautiful cover. And I'm talking about Thor issue #1, the 4th print. Now, after watching Kevin Feige explain how Chris Hemsworth was going to be sharing the spotlight with Natalie Portman, I decided to look up this book and see what was going on with it. And I found this cover. And I see there's plenty of movement with this cover. Right now, it's currently trending up at 0.75%, right? And it doesn't seem to be slowing down. Last recorded sale for this book for a graded copy in a 9.6 was $161.50. I like those prices. As an investor, as a collector, I like those prices, right? And I'm almost certain that the closer we get to Thor Love and Thunder coming out, it's going to go up a little bit more. The average graded sale for a 9.8 in this book, hold your breath, ladies and gentlemen, $500. Yes, friends, $500 for a 9.8. Average sale for a raw copy, $255. Highest recorded sale was back in January 2021, where a 9.8 went for a mean $799.99. I see nothing but good things for this book. This book is doing wonderful numbers. It has sold so far, raw copies have sold, they've sold 26 raw copies, and they've sold 14 graded copies. 40 books sold so far, and it continues, it's moving. For those of us who like to flip books, this is going to be a good book for you. For those of you who want to add this to your collection, pick your book, choose wisely, be happy with your purchase. Yep, absolutely. Pick your book, choose wisely, be happy with your purchase. Purchase what you like. That way you'll never be upset with what you have in your collection. This is a book that I definitely think is worth investing in 2022. All right? So keep your eye out for that book. The purple cover. Jane Foster, Thor, the purple cover. All right? Now, we're halfway there, ladies and gentlemen. Really quick, let me stop just to thank everybody for stopping by, checking out the channel. I thank you, all my subscribers. Thank you to all my new subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you. I will continue to do my best to share accurate and precise information with you guys that'll give you the early heads up or the scoop on a book that you may be able to add to your collection for not a lot of money. Or, I'm sorry, but sometimes books just cost what they cost, but we may be able to find the best book for the best value if we just slow down a little bit, take our time, and just look. Slow and steady wins the race. At least that's what my dad always told me. Right? So thank you guys very much, all right? So let's jump right in. Number 5, we're talking about Star Wars, Darth Vader, issue number 3, and this is the first appearance of Dr. Aphra and PT1, right? So based on the Disney Plus series and what I'm watching and what I'm seeing on Boba Fett, I've got strong feeling about this book. Strong feeling about this book. Last recorded sale for a raw copy was $677, and that was in January. That was on January 13th, 2022. $677, ladies and gentlemen. The average graded sale for a 9.8 for this book was $1,904. Average sale for a raw copy, $605. Current trend for this book is up 2.91%. So the comic book community definitely believes in this book, right? Everybody's excited about what's going on with the Book of Boba Fett, and you know what Disney and Marvel is doing with the Star Wars franchise. Everybody's excited about it, and you could tell the numbers don't lie. It's a beautiful thing to watch what the comic book world is coming to, you know, when it comes to not just the book, but the movies and the television series. It's a beautiful thing. And shout out to our friend Jim Comics, because what he would always say is it's a beautiful time to be collecting comics, and I wholeheartedly believe that. Shout out to Jim Comics, because it is a great time to be collecting comics, just to be a part of it. You know what I mean? It's very exciting. You just get so much out of it for those of us who do it for the love, and we just, you know, enjoy what's going on, man. So it's definitely worth doing, right? So let's get back to it. The highest recorded sale for this book was back in February 2021, where a 9.8 sold for $2,500. Star Wars, Darth Vader, issue number 3. Raw copies sold was 125 copies. Graded copies was 159 copies that were sold, right? So that makes a nice 284 total. 284 total books that were sold, and the fair market value has this book resting at $1,904. So if you look on eBay and check these prices, you can see that people are actually willing to invest a little bit more in this particular piece of property because they think it has more gain to it, right? You can definitely make a gain with this book. So watch this book, ladies and gentlemen. Keep your eye on it, and if you're not afraid, go ahead. Test the waters. See what you come up with, right? It's all good. Star Wars Darth Vader issue number 3. All right. Now, moving right along. At number 4, we have, this is what I call this is light and fluffy spec right here. This is light and fluffy. This is based on what I currently see Marvel doing, what I currently hear when I'm watching these trailers, when I'm watching the MCU speculation and how everything may be moving in the Marvel universe. This is light and fluffy spec right here. And this book is Avengers Forever, issue number 1. And this is that Aaron Cutter regular cover, right? The release date for this book was in December 2022 of 2021. Last recorded sale for this book in a raw copy was $10.88. There are no graded sales for this copy because it's a young book, but I'm almost certain that people have sent this book in. The average sale for a raw copy is $6.99, and the current trend is up. Watch this. The current trend for this book is up 20.80% because I believe that people see something on this cover that has them excited about the future of the MCU. So take a look at this book, and you can make your own judgment on it. But I already have a copy of this book, which is why I don't need to purchase it again. But I did want to share it, and I actually, without even knowing, I actually grabbed one of the variant covers to it. the Avengers Forever, issue number 1. I actually have that variant. I think it's the 1 in 25, which is a good book to invest in. But remember, I'm talking about the Aaron Cutter regular cover, right? So where you have, everyone's on that cover. The cover is filled with Avengers and possibly some new specs for the future. So definitely check this book out. The highest recorded sale for this book was back in December of 2021, and it was $12, right? So that was for a raw copy. So the amount of raw copies that have been sold in this book so far is 107 copies. That's not bad. You know, small movement, but steady. And again, what's powering the movement of this book? What do people see, right? So I just wanted to make sure that I was sharing that information with the comic book community also. Avengers Forever, issue number 1, the Aaron Cutter regular cover book. All right. Now, I have some speculation, not just for the flipper, but for the collector. All right. Now, let's talk Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 58. This book was released back in March 1st, 1968, and it is the first appearance of the Spider Slayer. First appearance of the Spider Slayer. You know that joint that J. Jonah Jameson, like I remember that cartoon, the original joint with J. Jonah Jameson got the Spider Slayer, and he was running around trying to kill Spider-Man. Yo, that was one of the best cartoons ever, man. Like, so I remember that. But the comic book right now, last recorded sale for the book in a raw copy was $100, and that was back in June 2022, right? The average graded sale for 8.5 was $150. We're talking about classic comics here, ladies and gentlemen. Definitely a collector's book, right? If you're interested in Spider-Man and you love Spider-Man like I love Spider-Man, this is a must-have in your collection, right? I just recently purchased a nice cover copy of this book. It's an excellent, it might actually be a not a 9.8, but an 8.5. I mean, it's not the near mint or the best copy ever, but it's a copy that I was happy with purchasing. It looks to be like about an 8.5, and I'm cool with that. The staples are nice and clean. Cover doesn't have any damages on it. I didn't pay a lot for it, so that's what made me want to share this book, right? I wanted to share this information for those of us because I continue to chip away at building my Spider-Man collection, so I figured this would be a good book to put on the list also. As of right now, average sale for a raw copy is $73.20. The current trend is up, and this book is moving, believe it or not. This particular copy, this particular issue of this series is moving. It is up 49.46%. This book is almost trending upwards 50%, ladies and gentlemen. So it is definitely on the move. The highest recorded sale for this book was back in June of 2014, where a 9.8, and I know that was a long time ago, but check this number out, right? A 9.8 sold for $6,300. But yet and still, to this date, this book continues to move in lower grades. So even if people can't afford that 6,000 pay mark, they're definitely going after that lower hanging fruit. They're definitely going after that what they can afford. So this book has a lot of movement, and it's always worth adding to your collection. Don't get me wrong. I love all these modern books that they got coming out. I love the trends that have been set with these new artists and these new writers and everything, but there is nothing like old school. There's nothing like original. So that's why I feel this book is worth having on the list, right? Coming in at number 3, Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 58, first appearance of the Spider Slayer. Raw copies being sold so far, 522 raw copies have been sold. And 99 graded copies have been sold, which rounds that off to a nice 621 copies that have been moving on the secondary market to this day right now. All right? So definitely keep your eye out for that book. Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 58, first appearance of the Spider Slayer. Now, coming in at number 2, we have a book that I'm excited about because I really dig these guys. A lot of people are not into them, but I'm into them. Are you into them? If you're into them, leave a comment in the comment section. Let's talk about it, right? And I'm talking about The New Titans, issue number 23. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, there's a DC book on my best 10 list. DC Comics, right? This book was released May 18th, 1982. It is the first appearance of Blackfire. First appearance of Blackfire. And it is the sister of Princess Corandar's. Princess Corandar's sister, right? Last recorded sale for this copy in a raw book was $25. That was back in January 14th of 2022. Average graded sale for a 9.8 for this book is $184. And that is not bad at all. That is not bad. That is not a bad buy-in price point, right? For a 9.8. Average sale for a raw copy for this book is $22.25. And the average in the current trend for this book, and it is trending up 176.92% right now. Up, ladies and gentlemen, way up. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. This book is up, ladies and gentlemen. 176.92%. 176.92%. This book is trending up. Highest recorded sale for this book was back in November 2020 for a 9.8, which sold for $219.99. But as of today, 400 raw copies have been sold and 61 graded copies have been sold, which gives us 461 copies sold thus far in this book. Fair market value has this book resting at $184. And that is not a bad price point to buy into this book. Because like I said earlier, nothing beats old school. And this is an old school book right here, right? The smell, the feel, the story, the writing, the art. It's different than a modern book. They just hit different. They just hit different, man. It is what it is, right? So keep your eye out for this book. I thought it was a perfect addition to our list, and it's definitely worth investing in 2022. Watch the numbers. The numbers never lie. All right? Excuse me. I needed that. All right, ladies and gentlemen. We're down to our last one. I saved the best for last. And I'm excited about this book, and I hope you're excited about this book. Coming in at number 1 from Marvel, we're talking about Moon Knight, issue number 1, the newsstand edition. Yes. And if you know like I know, and if you've been watching and pay attention, this book is set to debut on Disney+. Fans are excited about the show. I'm definitely excited about the show. We got Arthur Isaac playing Moon Knight. Yes, Arthur Isaac. Yeah. I think he's going to do well with this character, right? And the key factor to this book is it's the first self-titled and ongoing series and origin story of Moon Knight. Also, the first appearance of Bushman also, right? Last recorded sale for this book in a raw copy was back in January 2022 for $139. The average graded sale for this book in a 9.6 is $334. Not bad. The average sale for a raw copy is $102. And I look at that and I go, wow. Because here's some transparency. I was in Dallas a few months ago, right? On some family business. I was visiting a comic book shop down there. The owner of the comic book shop offered me this book for $60, and I turned it down. I turned it down, ladies and gentlemen, like a fool. And every time I look at this book, I be kicking myself in the butt ever since. But it's like I say, man, you know, you win some, you lose some. But it's definitely a book that you know is worth having in the collection. And the reality to it is I'm not perfect. I made the mistake of leaving the book down there, and I know somebody who really deserved it got it, because my dumb self didn't deserve it, because I would have bought it, right? So just a little honesty there. That's why I know this book is definitely worth being #1 on the list, because I had my hands on this book. It was offered to me, and I knew the movie was coming out, and I knew it would trend up, but yeah, I still didn't buy it. Boy. What are you going to do, right? What are you going to do? But look, check these numbers out. The current trend for this book is up right now. It's currently trending upward 12.99%. The highest recorded sale for this book back in 2021 in a 9.8 was $1,799.99. That's a whopper right there. Yeah, big fish, definitely big fish, right? And the trailer looks good. So I know this book is going to continue to do well on the secondary market. It is an excellent spec book, and it is definitely an excellent secondary market. It's definitely a flipper's book right here. This book is a flipper's dream, right? But for those of us who love to collect, because I don't have this book, but I'm going to try to get my hands on it. So for those of us who love to collect, this is definitely one for the collection. This is definitely a book that you should invest in 2022 and add to your collection. I definitely feel that it is worth it, right? So 564 raw copies have been sold thus far. 138 graded copies. 138 graded copies have been moved already, which gives us a grand total of 702 copies that have been sold in this book. And fair market value has this book resting at $334, ladies and gentlemen. And that is not bad at all. With all things considered, we got the Disney Plus series that's about to debut. We've got one of the best artists in the game, one of the best actors in the game, playing the character. I'm excited about this book, and I can't wait to see where it goes. I can't wait to see what happens in the debut, and I can't wait to see where the market places this book, where it may level out. And hopefully, it levels out to a point where I could purchase it. I just needed to take a little slight dip so I can grab it, man. But other than that, those are my 10 best books to invest in 2022. I hope you saw something you like. Listen, thank you guys for stopping by, checking out the channel. Thank you for all your love and your support. Thank you to my subscribers. Thank you to my new subscribers, man. I hope I don't disappoint you. I'll continue to do my best to share accurate and confident and confident information with you guys. All right. So you guys already know. Good vibes only over here at Keep It Comics. All right. You know what I always say. Don't hate, congratulate. Show some love, because that don't cost you nothing. Appreciate. But no matter what you do, ladies and gentlemen, when you see me, always keep it comics. Later, guys.